Did you get it? Did you get it, babe? It's almost Friday. It's almost Friday, guys. Nika here with your Daily Neuro Nugget. Thank you guys for waiting up on me. It's been a very long, hectic work day, and you guys thought I wasn't gonna show up, but here we are, late, but at least we made it. Hey, Shane. By the way, if you are in here, we are creating this free content for you guys. I don't charge you for this. I don't ask for cash apps. And I will never ask you for money for me. We have raised money for other veterans, but I never ask you guys for anything. So please give it a like, right? We're taking hours out of our day, out of our week to create this content for you. Give it a like. Hype the video. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. By the way, it's almost Friday. Now, one of you guys sent me this thread regarding grand jury violations and how come nobody was ever arrested. Before we get started, guys, these are my theories, opinions, conspiracies, whatever you want to call them. These videos are for entertainment purposes only. Happy Thursday. Welcome to the chat, guys. Now, when you sent me this link regarding grand jury violations on Reddit, I already had my concerns regarding grand jury violations that were all brushed under the carpet, right? They were all brushed under the carpet. They wanted us to pretend that nothing happened, right? Ugh, judge. Hot pie gravy. Babe, why did you remind me? I'd forgotten about that evil man. He was so fucking weird. And so was Hitler, right? I did not forget about these grand jury violation concerns because when they were informed that information was being leaked by a grand jury member, nothing was actually done. They told us that they were looking into it, that they were investigating it, but here we are literally 3 years later and nobody has gotten arrested. There was no ongoing investigation, and that alone tells us the depth of corruption in this investigation. Now, the link that you sent me shows that there was a woman on Facebook that was publicly claiming that she was a member of the grand jury in the Idaho versus Brian Kohberger case, right? Now, what really I found personally very interesting was that she mentions that she was a member of a large case discussion group since just days right after Mr. Brian Kohberger was arrested back in December 2022, right? And then she joined back in early January 2023. Thank you. Aren't they beautiful? Look, this was a gift. Is it? I'm very blessed because of you guys. Literally, you guys are amazing. So thank you for the flowers. I love flowers. I love candy and chocolate and tea and caffeine. So thank you guys. Now, concerning information here, because considering the grand jury indictment was not going to be taking place until May 2023, that would mean that she was being active in a public group filled with rumors, misinformation, speculation for months before she was about to serve her as a grand jury member, right? Now, if that's true, how is that acceptable? How is that acceptable information? Because we know that grand jury members being impartial is supposed to be fundamental. You cannot have biased or impartial grand jury members because that means they're already going in there with the mentality that Brian Kohberger is guilty just because they were part of some random Facebook group that spreads misinformation, right? Of course, this matters. this, in my opinion, is pointing to violations. It's pointing to a serious breach here, along with other big mouth people that were spreading things. Now, I know a lot of you guys have said that maybe she was just a random person on Facebook posting this information, and that maybe she was just lying. Maybe she was not actually on the grand jury. A lot of people said it was probably fake, because if it were true, she would have been arrested. But why would we jump to those conclusions? Because we know that the leaker from the grand jury never got done, right? They allowed it. They allowed it. And allegedly they had checked Steve Gonsalves's leaked text messages, and what did they do about that? They never really did anything about that, right? Now, this is crazy because, in my opinion, his lawyers should have had a better investigation team regarding all of these leaks, and they should have pushed for people to be held accountable, right? And yes, we know that online, people can say anything online. To be honest, she may or may not have been on the grand jury. That being said, when we follow her name that was shared here on this Reddit thread, and we check her out, track her back to her Facebook, it shows that she's actually from Moscow, Idaho area. So the odds of her being on the grand jury just increased dramatically. Also, her Facebook page actually looks like she's a real person, not a troll account. Now, I'm not completely positive what the rules are regarding the grand jury over there in Idaho, but I'm pretty sure that under Idaho law, anybody serving on a grand jury must be able to decide solely based on evidence presented in the grand jury room, and also have no preconceived opinions about the case or the defendant. And given the fact that she was already part of this big online group that was spreading misinformation, that was at the very least clearly biased, had already been formed, right? Not only that, but that would also mean that this female would have also been subjected to months and months and months of public narrative, of public misinformation, public opinion, and months of speculation, right? Now, members of the public reported the leaks back in May 2023, but the new documents state that ISP investigated, allegedly investigated, but the parties involved did not bring them back, so they just left it. ISP said they basically did what they did with, sorry guys, I'm warming up here. They basically did what they did with Maddie's coat, right? When they saw Maddie's coat, like, fuck it. How in the world does law enforcement get to the point where we are now, that it is literally that corrupt, where they know that there are all these leaks? Members of the public in the Moscow, Idaho area had been reporting leaks since May 2023, and ISP just said, oh well, fuck that. We don't need that evidence. We don't need that. I mean, we tried calling them, but they didn't reach out, so we just dropped everything. If that is how you are handling fucking a quadruple homicide investigation, I don't even want to know how you actually handled evidence. Well, we already know they mishandled evidence, right? Because they had random refrigerators breaking down magically with all the DNA that magically fell apart. They also had warehouses that were full of evidence regarding the IDAHO4 that magically burned down. Sounds like a bunch of nonsense to me. And it may be nonsense, but I still think that this is important information that I would hope and pray that at least Ann Taylor knows. Should I send this information to Ann Taylor ASAP? Could this potentially help Brian Kohberger along the way? We know that Ann Taylor had shitty investigators. And in my opinion, Bill Thompson has a lot to answer for, right? And people that sent me this information, send me the name of this female that was all over Facebook, also mentioned that they have been on a grand jury themselves in different states, and that they think this is very serious information. This is serious information. This is a massive leak. Why is this allowed? I think it's allowed because we allow it, right? If we put our foot down regarding these grand jury violations that were never investigated, I think it'd be a bigger deal. Like I said, let me know your thoughts, your point of views. Do you think that this is something that could potentially, in this time, space, year, help Bryan Kohberger whatsoever? I don't know. I don't know. Now, I also wanted to talk about something else that has been kind of just triggering me. Because there have been a lot of new people coming into the channel. Welcome, join the family, welcome. But I find it very interesting that a lot of people keep referring to the DNA that allegedly places Bryan Kohberger at the crime scene. They keep saying DNA on the sheath. They don't say touch DNA. They're saying DNA on the sheath. They keep stating the word evidence. Evidence. What evidence are you talking about? Evidence that has never been documented? Evidence that has never been released? The people that are talking about Bryan Kohberger's vehicle, where is a clear image? The people that keep referring to his K-bar receipt, where is it? The people that keep referring to the sheath, where is it? The people that keep referring to his things, where is the document? Again, I don't have a race in this horse, so at the moment, it's never going to really impact me if he actually committed the crime, but show me the evidence, right? Don't just tell me about it. I want to see it with my own fucking eyeballs, right? There are so many people out there that have such strong opinions, but they don't have the documentation to back it up. What we are asking for here as truthers is documentation. I don't know if he did it, but so far, touch DNA is not enough to incarcerate somebody. But he confessed, Nika. He confessed. Okay, and how many false confessions do we have in the US of A? A lot, right? Well, why would somebody confess? Are you an idiot? Were you born yesterday? Do you not understand the psychology behind false confessions? Look, I know we don't all have master's degrees in psychology. I'm sorry I called you an idiot, okay? It's just really frustrating because I thought that most American adults knew that false confessions were a thing, right? Like, also, there's people out there that are mentioning that there was an eyewitness. There was an eyewitness that saw only one man exiting the house after the murders. Where did you get that information, sir, ma'am? Why are there people out there that are treating us like idiots for questioning things? We should be asking questions, right? We should be concerned that other people are not asking questions, that are just saying, well, the FBI is in charge of this case, so that means they got the wrong guy. Actually, no. Actually, the FBI attempted to get involved in this case. And what did dear Detective Bald Little Man say? Lil Payne, what did he say? We got this. We don't need y'all. We don't need y'all. We don't need you. We got this. I think that Detective Payne did not want the FBI getting too involved, because when the FBI gets involved, they turn everything upside down. They're looking for everything. And that includes the training of officers. And we know that Moscow Police Department has a record of being corrupt. I've talked about Stickergate many times. Please don't ask me what Stickergate is. Go watch my old videos. I have talked of several instances of corruption within Moscow Police Department, meaning if Detective Payne allowed the FBI to fully immerse themselves, to fully enter this investigation, the entire police department was going to be torn apart, looked into, deconstructed bit by bit. All of their nasty shit that only they knew, like Stickergate, was going to come out, right? So yeah, we have to ask questions, because no, the FBI was not fully allowed to be part of this investigation. They only shared part in the early days of the investigation. And that is very strange, right? Because we know that allegedly, MPD has never seen a thing like this. Things like this don't happen in Moscow. Things like this don't happen in Moscow. We know that's a fucking lie, because, you know, all the other frat boys, sorority girls that have passed away in mysterious circumstances. Yeah. But if you are saying, well, I'm Detective Payne and I've actually never done this kind of thing before. Yes, I was in the military, but I was in the military too. I was in the military longer than Payne was. That doesn't mean I know how to begin, how to investigate a quadruple homicide, especially things like this don't happen in Moscow. So why wouldn't you take the aid that other agencies are offering you, like the FBI? Isn't that a little bit shady? If you're saying, we're a small town police department, we've never seen anything like this, we don't have the resources, then why are you pushing the FBI away? Yeah, you got what you wanted from the FBI and then you told them to fuck off. That is very questionable, right? The eyewitness that they're referring to, are they referring to Dylan? Is that the eyewitness? Because that's the only eyewitness that I can think about. And again, we talked about this in yesterday's live. If you missed yesterday's live, please go watch, like, and hype yesterday's live. But she never said it was Brian. Right? They mentioned an eyewitness seeing someone leaving, but like, who? Because it wasn't until like so many interviews later that Dylan Mortensen finally said, yeah, so like, yeah, I totally like had like one bushy eyebrow. How tall was he? He was a little bit taller, or maybe a little bit shorter. I don't really know. Maybe like a basketball player. Really? I joked about it. You guys know me already. I'm very sarcastic. The ADD, the autism. I had joked about originally Dylan making that statement, and I was like, did she see her own reflection? Because, I mean, Dylan could also have some pretty bushy eyebrows. I mean, they're thicker than Brian's, in my opinion. And as far as he looked like a basketball player, bitch, you look like an NFL player. You look like a basketball player. Brian doesn't look like a basketball player. No offense, no body shaming, Mr. Koberger, but you look like he looks like me, okay? Skinny, shapeless, has a soft belly. We're nerds, okay? We're autistic nerds. We read books. That's what we look like. We look like what we do. That's okay. But he doesn't look like a fucking basketball player. Dylan looks like a basketball player. She's like 10 feet tall, 200 pounds. Has the freaking wingspan of one of those weird Nat Geo bats, right? The 6-foot wingspan. That's what she looks like. He looks like a PhD student, exactly. I look like a scientist. Do you see any muscles in this? No. So yeah, we have to question everything, and we do. And the guilters are like, no, he said he was guilty, therefore he is guilty. I personally believe that if there was a trial and all the evidence was actually presented, I mean all of the evidence, right? All of it, because we know Ann Taylor had to continue to go back and basically beg for them to release information, and they would not. They would not. I think if everything was presented, Mr. Koberger hopefully would be found not guilty. And we all have personal opinions, right? But if people want to attack you, family in the chat, if people want to attack you over your personal opinions, then we know what? We know they're just ignorant. That's what it is. We do have the issue here with the jury that was knees deep in bullshit, right? Knees deep in false narratives. I mean, the false narrative that he was a stalker. And then Bill Thompson had to come out. I'm sorry to say that he was not a stalker. The jury was knee deep in bullshit. before the trial, false narrative pushed before the trial by family members, by the media, by everybody and their mama. How the fuck are we gonna have a trial when there's already 3 documentaries out, 2 books, bunch of bullshit spread by the parents of some of the victims, not all but some. Isn't that weird? But I'm praying so hard that there's still some Americans with a fucking brain. And I know there are. I know you guys are out there. All of you guys are here in this channel. Why do you think my channel has so many views and so little subscribers? Okay, not a lot of brain cells. At the end of the day, what do we have all over this case? Reasonable doubt, reasonable doubt, reasonable doubt. Then we have the GoFundMe begging, okay? Making it look like for sure Mr. Kohberger was railroaded and blocked from a fair trial by a very biased, very corrupt judge, right? You guys reminded me early in the chat, hot pie gravy, judge. That motherfucker, like, God, he pisses me off. What was Judge, the judge that literally made faces every time Anne opened her mouth? Be like, come on, Miss Taylor. Are you done, Miss Taylor? That was Judge. And then we have the other fucknut over there. I'm sorry, I'm just in a mood today because, you know, a lot of people are very stupid. That's why I'm in a mood today. People be smarter, then I will be in a better mood. Okay, it's not that hard, okay? Then we have Judge Hippler. Judge Hippler, did he not start his entire time frame with Idaho versus State Kohberger saying, well, why start with an untruth? I'm not happy to be here. I don't give a fuck if you're happy to be there or not. Do your fucking job, bitch. Right? Most of us on here have jobs. I'm a scientist. Do you think when I go do my experiments at my fucking research lab, I tell my patients, why start with an untruth? I'm not happy to be here. It's 3 in the fucking morning. I'm not happy to be here. No, I shut my fucking pie hole and do my job because that's what I get paid to do. And here we have Judge Hippler getting paid by the taxpayers and starting the whole thing with some bullshit, immediately showing his bias, right? Immediately showing his bias. And why does that matter? Because a judge is supposed to be impartial. That means that as a judge, you don't show that you think Mr. Kohberger is guilty. That means that you keep your fucking composure, you stupid bitch. That's what that robe means. You keep your composure. You keep your inner thoughts inside, right? If you think Brian Kohberger chopped those 4 kids up to bits, it doesn't matter. You keep your mouth hole shut. You do your job. You wait until the trial, and then you can spew whatever nonsense you want. You don't spread false narratives. You don't show bias, because that will, and studies show, it will impact a jury. So yes, of course there was a corrupt and biased judge who blocked so many avenues for the truth, and he blocked everything. What did he say when Ann Taylor said, there's DNA of a potential suspect under Maddie Mogen's fingernails? Yeah, we're not allowing that. We're not going to allow that. It's going to confuse my fellow Americans. Wow. Wow. It's crazy. Well, then why did he take the plea deal? Why? Maybe because of all of the documentaries and all of the YouTube videos and all of the news channels and media saying that he is the unaliver, We know, I don't know, what's the percentage? Probably 99% of people think that he's guilty. His trial by media made all of this very unfair to him. It is very easy to spin a narrative with catchy titles and say, this is the guy. He looks like an incel with his dark hair and his creepy eyes. If you actually believe that any of those jurors would have been truly, truly unbiased and actually not followed or heard about that case, then that would be extremely wild. That would be very far out. Because even if you live in the middle of nowhere in Idaho, you probably heard of a quadruple fucking homicide, right? You're probably going to have very strong points. And we know how people and bias are, like how that goes. We know how that goes, right? Brian Koberger was an outsider. As soon as people know that you are an outsider, they don't like you. They don't like you as much. That's bias. That's also a scientific fact. You're welcome. If I were in the position that Brian Koberger is, I would probably also avoid the death penalty too, because if you're dead, then it doesn't really matter what new evidence comes out that might help you be exonerated, because now you're dead. Right? Okay, thank you. That is a perfect phrase right there, Tommy. BK chose to wave the white flag of defeat at the end. Oh, Mandy, thank you. Give the woman a like. For real, don't be a hater. Don't be a hater. Now, I know, let me look, before I open my mouth, right? Let me Google something real quick. I wanted to talk about intelligent people, because smart people are going to ask questions. Smart people are going to question things. People who question things tells me they are smart. It means you have your own brain. You are an intellectual when you don't immediately accept some spoon-fed trash. Right? That is a measure of intelligence. We know that the IQ is dropping. It's been dropping for the last 10 years. It's not good. It means we're getting dumber. It means people, when our IQ drops as a nation, it means that we're fucking idiots. It means that anytime you turn on the news and you listen to some bullshit, you're like, oh, yeah, that sounds right. I believe it. Because you don't ask questions. Ask questions, please. Use your brain, babe. The fact that the court docket is literally changing, we here, the family here, YouTube family, we've been watching, we've been closely monitoring the court docket for documents in this case. The fact that it's constantly changing should be enough to raise an eyebrow. That to me is very strange. It's very suspicious. And we also see that some things are disappearing. I don't know why they're disappearing. Maybe it's in response to a motion that Ann Taylor filed after sentencing. Maybe asking for things to be redacted or removed. But I'm not too sure. Is it maybe that the defense is preparing for something new to happen? Is it maybe that these documents could be prejudicial in whatever parallel investigation is allegedly supposed to be taking place? I'm not sure. But I, to this day, would love to know what is the exculpatory evidence that Ann Taylor believed Bethany Funk had, and why in the world was Bethany Funk able to get out of Dodge? Because she did everything in her power to not testify, to not be deposed in person, right? That's what she did. Don't get mad at me. Don't get mad at me. That's what she did. She did not want to go. And I'm just curious because Bill Thompson, during the entire sentencing testimony, he was staring right at Dylan Mortensen during the entire sentencing and was like physically blocking her from Brian Kohberger's line of sight. I thought that was very strange. Is it because Dylan was maybe siding, trying to play cover up with law enforcement? And Bethany Funk just was like, I don't want no part of this. I'm just going to disappear. Is it possible that maybe they were threatened that they would be named as accessories, or were there threats to their life if they talked or if they didn't go along with the narrative? Is it possible that maybe they found the bodies before? Is it possible that maybe they're the ones that found the bodies, covered them with a blanket, but had nothing to do with the actual crime? Is it possible that maybe they were involved in the cleanup and maybe know what happened and why? And were possibly offered immunity? It just makes me wonder, right? I'm just thankful that I have you guys in this little channel we have built, all of us here together, because I get to talk to open-minded people that are willing to challenge the information that is being spoon-fed to us. They're willing to discuss and question the narrative. And what's very strange that some of you guys reminded me of is that we are yet to see even a photo of the K-bar, right? Personally, I don't believe that the case is over yet. It's very possible that the defense is still working to this day behind closed doors to make something happen. Yes, the case may be closed to our eyes, but I don't think it's over yet. That's just my opinion. And I know a lot of people are wondering, why are we still following this case? And that is why, right? Because we're interested in knowing the full details of what actually happened, or the motive, and not sit here with these questions, with these this puzzle that still doesn't make sense, right? We know, yes, Brian Kohberger pled guilty, but that doesn't mean he confessed, right? People always say that if you plead guilty, that's a confession. It's not a confession. It just means you pled guilty. There are two different things. Be objective now. Use your words. Use all of your words, right? Because they're screaming about this as well. They're saying, well, if you plead guilty, that's a confession. No, it is not. Two separate things, right? Then we have the DNA from other sources. They claim that it was not enough to process, which we know that is not true. Law enforcement chose to not process it, right? And I know that people are going to try to explain that you can't just put every sample into CODIS and then have an outcome for all the samples, but that's silly. We have technology. There are ways to process every sample without making Brian Kohberger's DNA just magically disappear, right? What do they like to tell us? Oh yeah, they have him on video. That car, he's on video. Well, we know it's a car, a blurry car at that. Oh, but his pings were in the area. We know about pings. We know about cell towers. We've read the very extensive letter of the scientist, Vicar Barlow, that you can connect to a cell tower 60 plus miles away, and that it's happened many times before, right? Guilters are still saying that Kohlberger's phone attempted to connect to the victim's Wi-Fi. This has not been documented. Where did you get this information? Oh, we heard that there is some sort of K-bar receipt somewhere from Amazon. Where? Where is it? Because I have not seen anything to verify this information. Okay, there's no way to validate this commonly found weapon, this commonly ordered knife, right? These are very, very common knives, especially we know Idaho is huge for hunting. These are common for military personnel and also for hunters or knife collectors, okay? You don't have to be a military member to have a K-bar. You can literally buy one on Amazon, buy one online. And there's nothing that's identifiable, right? Showing one knife versus somebody. It's not like a bullet. It's not like a gun where you can track it with a serial number. They basically look the same. So that's not damning. But even then, even if there was some receipt, which there isn't, where is it, right? And we know there's this massive debate regarding the DNA, right? Being touched DNA. And there's a debate about how much was found and where was it found. Because in all of the documents that we have seen here, it indicates that it was enough, barely enough DNA underneath the metal part of the snap. And it was touch DNA. This case is not cut and dry. That's why we are still talking about this, right? And I'm still wondering, are they ever going to reveal the unknown male DNA under the fingernails, under the railing? Because I have a feeling that some of that DNA probably belonged to Maury. He was in there molesting everything, door rails and all, with no gloves. And let's not forget that the state said time and time again, and law enforcement, oh, it doesn't exist. The DNA doesn't exist. Really? Because your fridge broke down, right? All right. So just wanted to get that out of my brain before I have to go, guys. How long have I been on here? Oh my goodness, too long. Are you guys being nice in the chat? I see it popping off over there. Be nice, guys. Be nice. I feel like a mother. You guys have to be nice to each other. Actually, you don't have to be nice. Just really be respectful, right? Like, people can't even do that these days. Oh my goodness. Let me see if I can pull up the chat on my crop top here. Where is it? Where is it? I think I'm losing my vision. I've been on the computer like 18 hours, guys. My eyes are so blurry right now. Oh, there it is. Oh my God. Oh, Suds. Finally. Where's Hoppers? Where's Hoppers? Hoppers, are you in here? Are you in here? Where did Hoppers go? I haven't seen Hoppers in a while. I'm getting a little concerned. Hey Suds, hey Tony, hey Hot Pie Gravy, hey Shelia, hey Pirates Flip. Green jacket through the arms. I do that to stay warm. Yeah, because if you put the whole thing on, then you're like too hot. But like this is like the perfect amount of heat, you know? Suds, call me sick all you want. Oh yeah, of course. I want to see victim photos of the crime scene also because, yeah, not because we're sick. It's because we are smart. Duh. We want to see if we can put this puzzle piece together, obviously. Ooh, the DNA led to his father. How do you get a warrant for Brian? Exactly. Sounds like a legal activity to me. Thank you, Gladiator 1983. You don't think the case is closed either, huh? Ooh, Lessa says, I'm noticing a lower IQ in here in the comment section than usual. It's probably because normally I don't allow people to comment unless they've been subscribed for like 2 years. Let me see who the low IQ folks are in here. Hot by Gravy, I believe Bethany was threatened and DM was involved. Probably. Yeah. Too fast for fleas. Go along with the narrative or get charges pressed against them for failure to report the crime. Crazy. Mm-hmm. Yeah, yes, Lisa. People are actually that stupid to ask about why somebody takes a plea deal if they're innocent. Yes, yes. Isn't that crazy? Crazy. It's a little bit insane. It's called common sense, right? Like death penalty or be in jail. Assman says, if the world had the facts and all the evidence, no one would be questioning anything about this. But with how much doesn't add up is why we're diving into this mess. Exactly. If this was a cold cut case, like, we wouldn't be up here talking about it 3 years later. We'd be done and over, right? I thought Judge was not fair. Then I saw Hippler, and he's the lowest of the low of any judge in the U.S., and I would lay all my money on that. He's gross. He's icky. Hey, Emma. Gladiator says, hi, Nika. Remember the grand jury didn't believe Dylan? That says a lot by itself. Bethany Funk has exculpatory evidence and will not show her face in Idaho. What the fuck is going on with those two? Yes. How could I forget? They did not trust or believe Dylan, right? Oh, Suds, who's bothering you in the chat? Who the heck? Is there a troll in there? Alley Cat says, that's uncalled for Idaho's. A little late here. Judge was yeah, he was the drama queen, right? Yuck. Just do your job, bitch. Go be a judge. I feel like judges nowadays, and like a lot of lawyers also, because of social media, they're not there to be a lawyer. They're there to be, they want to be known. Like, why are you trying to be famous on YouTube or TikTok, bro? You're a fucking lawyer. Go. Lister, is that how you say it? Lister? Nika, I'm a newer sub and I can just say, I appreciate your passion for this case. Thank you so much. That's nice. That's nice. Thank you. Hot Pot Gravy. Wonder if Hippler ever got to the bottom of the Dateline leak. For real. Pirate's Flood. Dylan is the only one without shoes, right? And then the shoes were covered in blood, right? In her room. Mm-hmm. Uh-huh. I'm with you, Elizabeth. There's no way that one man could commit all of that damage in that short amount of time, right? Gladiator, we don't know what they were doing. That's just a rumor. But in the legal documents, a lot of people spoke about Kaylee getting around with quite a few men, right? We're not judging. I don't care what Kaylee did or does, or who cares. But the point is that her friends mentioned that she was sleeping around quite a bit, getting around quite a bit. Why does that matter? Does it matter? Well, depending on who she was sleeping with, we know that that's the #1 apex predator, statistically speaking, for women, right? Men, especially men you're very close to, like in a relationship with. It's always been in the back of my mind. Was there somebody she was maybe sleeping with that did something to her? You never know. Oh, suds. Unless Hippler was the deadline link. Oh, snap. Can you imagine? Hey, Undercover Mermaid, I'm almost done here. I'm sorry. But I'm glad you made it. Hey, Laura, true love, thank you so much. Gladiator says, no judgment, but good reason to hide for MPD. Exactly. Exactly. Oh, Mandy, you so good to me, girl. That's a very kind comment. I'm glad that you're in here. I'm glad that you watch and support the channel. It means a lot, because otherwise I'm just blabbing to myself about this case, and that's no fun. Hey, Rosie, welcome. Just hopping on. I'm about to actually leave, guys. I have to cook dinner for the family. It's getting late. It's like 6 here in Chicago. Please make sure to vote. Please don't vote in the chat. The chat will eventually disappear. Please make sure to vote in the comment section when the live stream ends. If you think that this is very concerning, that we have grand jury violators without arrest warrants, okay? These people are out there leaking information. They were spreading lies. Nobody's been arrested. Nobody has been held accountable. Do you think that that's fucking weird? Please leave a 1. If you think that it's totally acceptable for grand jury violators to leak information and spread lies and spread BS narratives and not be held accountable when we know that's a crime. If you don't care, leave it 2, right? Thank you guys for watching. Thank you guys for joining me in today's live. I hope to see you tomorrow. Oh my God, tomorrow's Friday. Ah! And let me know your thoughts in the comment section, guys. See you soon. Have a good night. Bye-bye.